Hello there, and welcome to Tech Tuesday. We are just beginning another session, so at this point, you should be in the link, attempting to either open up the collaboration space or open up a Twitter, and we'll go into explaining that. I just want you to settle in, find your way. Heather Hickey is going to be answering some questions at the back end. She's in here with me, and Andy and Nuno will also be in there answering questions. So you might be on the collaborative space provided, Twitter or Yammer, and we'll show you what that looks like in a second. I'll just give you a minute to set up. And so as we said, we would like you to connect with us during the time. So if you have gone into the collaborative space provided by your principal, you'll see that you write your name first and then write your questions so that we know who's speaking and what questions we are answering and who we're talking to. That would be great. If you are working within Twitter or Yammer, make sure to use the hashtag DPChats at the end of your message before you send it, so it collects in the conversation. If you want to just see the conversations that are happening with DP Chats, you go up into your search engine up at the top and you put hashtag DP Chats, and it'll just isolate what's going on in that conversation. So I'll just give you a few seconds to set up your Twitter, your Yammer, or collaborative space. All right, so today we're thinking about 21st century learners, and we're thinking about the idea of collaboration. Collaboration itself is not only about the idea of communication, but it's now the idea of communicating and collaborating across networks. These skills that you see around this young learner here is skills that she's going to use not only on its own as an individual basis, but when we think about collaborating, we're being effective oral and written. We're learning to effectively communicate orally and written depending on what they're using. They're thinking critically, they're being curious, they're adapting to one another. So all of these little things that they're working within it, this is happening offline and online and within the collaboration world, wherever that may be. When we think of digital collaboration, we're using the collaboration skills that are already taught in class. So it's nothing that they're going to have to learn a new skill now that all of a sudden they're online. They're already using things that they use face-to-face in the groups that they work with within the classroom. But now they're just choosing a different tool, a tool that is going to enhance their experience with whether it be video, picture, hyperlinks, voice. They're adding to the experience of the collaboration and being able to build it and store it somewhere and go back and either work on it in the classroom or work on it at home. So wherever it may be, wherever they are, if they have a device and Wi-Fi, they're going to be able to get in and collaborate with their group members or teachers with their teaching partners, depending on what they're doing. We're going to show you a video, and I want you just to think of, you're going to see some of the collaboration that is happening within the classroom face-to-face, but how these skills are then transferred over when they are online as well. I'm just going to come out of here.
Let me know what you figure out. She really has to plan ahead of time. She has to figure out how to group the students so that they're the most productive. She has to scaffold their work. So she provides hints or clues or templates, worksheets if necessary, to kind of show them what they need to do first, what they might consider doing next, just to teach them how to work together. You know, teamwork is not something that comes naturally, especially for younger students. They really need to learn how to do that.
So we would have a anchor or a set of expectations about what kind of language would be used, what the roles and responsibilities are for each person in that group, and what are the processes for asking further questions or clarification.
So you serve one trail mix and give out stickers. I do two trail mixes. I'm doing. Bryce does the questions, and then you do the sticker other thing.
So when students are working on projects in different groups, it's difficult to get to all of them at once, and they may really need you. So my first strategy for that is teaching a child how to use each other, teaching them how to talk to one another. And so here we call it accountable talk. So what are ways that you talk with each other when you disagree? How do you do that in a respectful manner to continue to collaborate with each other and keep the project moving? Also, I do a lot of tabletop directions. If I have short directions that they need to get through, or a checklist, or an agenda, they have to get through so many things by the end of the day or the end of the week, instead of raising their hand and asking me and I have to run back and forth, it's right there in front of them.
So it's really the art of facilitation. The teacher would not be at the front of the room directing instruction, but instead she is choreographing instruction. So she's like a conductor, and she would go to all the different tables and groups to ensure that each group is working in harmony to achieve that goal at the end.
So as we look at the skills and the idea of collaboration, I want you just to think of what we're doing in class and what they're doing face-to-face. This is now transferred online. They're taking these skills, and just as you have to facilitate and when you work into the groups in class, you're also going to have to facilitate and teach the skills of what it looks like to collaborate in general, whether it be online or face-to-face. These skills are still the same. They're just using a different tool. So we're going to go into two tools today. The first one we're going to look in is the creation of groups, and being able to take people and build them and be able to collaborate in one space together when you design a group. And they can come in and have conversations and share files in this one space, which is a great place to start. Another idea that we're going to be looking at is the idea of Microsoft Word Online. So we can share and collaborate our documents or build documents with our groups that we have designed or with individuals. And we'll show you what that looks like when they're beginning to go in, or whether a teacher is sharing documents back and forth and providing feedback. That's also an important reason to collaborate online. I'm going to come out of here and move on over to my Office 365. So I'm just going to sign in as we usually do. All right, you see my menu come up, and the one place that we go to when we're developing groups is people. So I'm just going to go into there. You're going to see here that if you choose, you can add contacts in of people that you may be working with closely or you're going to be contacting on a regular basis. You also have your groups that are already designed here. And this little plus sign is a place that says we can go and create a group. And I'll show you that in a minute. I'm going to go in and show you what it looks like when a group is already designed. So when I first go into the group, I see all of the people that are a part of the group. I know at this point I can still customize my group. I can add members, or I could choose to have more options and either make the person an owner so that they have rights to edit and change and put people in, or remove them from the group. So depending on what's happening or things are changing, you can customize the people that are in it on an ongoing basis. In this conversation space right here, you can see as I move into it that the people that are in the group can talk to one another. They can talk about next steps or goals or little information or tidbits that they may be getting along the way, brainstorming. It's a great place to start your research, what we're going to do, where we're going to go. And when we move into that, so here's the idea of conversations. They can also have files. So if we go into the files, you can see that the people within the group, and I've just added some stuff here, but anybody can upload or create new documents of whether it be Word documents, PowerPoint, pictures, articles, videos, everything in here, depending on the purpose of the collaboration, can be put in here. So whether it be for research or co-planning, building a unit together, here's one place that you can go and design together. Another thing, when you're owners, you can also, or if you're just the owner and you're sharing something, just say as a teacher and you're sharing with a group of students, there's a notebook option that's up here and is created with the group on the initial process. When you go into there, it just shows you that you can give information and content and add things into a space. So whether it be the rubrics or assessment or some notes and stuff that you want to share that is important for the group itself, you can keep within this space in the notebook that's attached to it. So I'm just going to come back to here. So it's really a great place to start when beginning to collaborate. You have a lot of little different features here, and it's really easy to create. So if I go back to here and then this little plus button, I'm going to choose to create. Along here, you can see that I choose a name. So I'm just going to write whatever it may be. And if I'm focusing on one particular topic, I'd write that in. At this point, you can choose the privacy. So whether it be public or private. Now, sometimes individuals just want to share within the group. They don't want other people to be able to search for the group or to see it. If you just want it to be private and something that stays within the teacher and the students or co-planning between the teacher and the teacher, then this is something you may choose. So that's individual and up to you. When you're ready for the next step, you go to create and you can add members. When you are adding members, this part, depending on how many are in it, you do have to do one by one. So you would type the last name in, find the person, add them in, and then continue typing, right, until you find everybody that you want, and you add the members. So just press the little add there, and then the group is created. So here you see I can start a conversation right away. I can see that it is a public group. I can see that I have files and notebooks, so everything's there. And you just go in and build right from that point. And it's really a simple way to start things off when collaborating. When you are already collaborating together, whether it be individuals or groups, one great tool is Word Online. I'm just going to switch over to here. So I went to my waffle, went over to Word Online. And you can see at this point that I could choose to build a new document, or I can go into something that's already created. So I'm just going to go into a document that's already put together. And at this point, you can see that I have something already down in here. And you can see these little speech bubbles. This means that someone has commented on the document itself. So when I press on it, the comments come up on the side here. So we can see that we can collaborate without actually having to write on this space. We can give feedback and talk to one another and figure out what we need to do just on this side. Without even really going in and editing the document, you can make comments right from there and create new comments. Also, when you go into it, you could choose to share it. And I just want to show you what that looks like. A few options in here is when you are sharing, you can choose to invite a group or invite an individual. So if I go into the group that I just created, I can see that it comes up. And I can choose that group and invite them to this document, or I can choose to just invite an individual. So it depends the reason and purpose that you are using this tool for. And you can choose as to whether they can edit it. You want that option, or you want them just to be able to view it. So that's important depending on the reason, again, and purpose that you are developing. Another way that you can share is just by getting a link. So I put this part in right here, went over to here, and you can choose to copy this link and share it to an email, depending on the purpose or who you're sending it to. You can choose to whether they need a sign-in required. If it's someone that's outside of Office 365, they might be sending it this way. Or if it's still within our board, you creating a sign-in, making sure that it's secure. The other great thing about this is that you can also set an expiration. So if you choose to set out a link and you want someone to answer something within a certain amount of time, you can customize how long, that it never closes, that it's only open for a day or 30 days. So that's a really great little point that you can make sure that, that kind of crashes after a certain amount of point, that link only stays open for a certain time. When we are editing and commenting, this is really great feature for feedback, whether it be teacher to student, peer-to-peer, or you're just collaborating, building research or inquiry together. This little space right here really develops student voice and thought and reflection. And this really adds to the idea of building a group and then working within the tools in Office 365. So I'm just going to head back into here and just talk about a couple considerations. When we are working online, the idea of digital citizenship is really important. I think when we think of collaboration, though, it's very similar to what we do face-to-face. The students have to understand that they need to be responsible when working in a group, that they need to respect each other's opinions and build a positive atmosphere. I think all of these things are something as teachers that we facilitate face-to-face, and that we're going to be facilitating and helping the students understand online. But it's still very important for them to understand that who they act and how they behave as people is just the same online as we're going to treat each other face-to-face. And it's something that they are still learning and we still do need to teach. We are redefining their workspace. We're changing what it looks like, what the collaboration is. We're giving them some tools. We're enhancing it with added multimedia features. So this is going to be new to them, and they are going to need some time to work around it and figure out what that looks like. Most importantly, with any tool and when deciding to collaborate, you are allowing and setting a unified purpose, something that they begin to work on that gives structure for the collaboration itself. They need to understand why they're going in and what they're doing and have a goal that they are trying to reach within it. It'll really help them build their understanding of collaboration and move through the space when they understand their purpose and what they need to do. In this point, when it's so important when we're on the line, again, they're able to reflect and give feedback and store that information there, whether it be with the teachers or with their peers. And it's a really great tool to begin to enhance their learning experience and help motivate them into their own learning. So I'm just gonna come back to you, find my way back to you, wherever you may be. I think you're here. Okay, hello. So hopefully that what didn't go too fast for you and you were able to pick up something from our little Tech Tuesday in collaboration today. Remember that we are going to be here every Tuesday providing and talking about different tools, and we'd like to still help you. We're still in the back channel, so if you need to ask more questions, please do. Heather's still here and the others are still online. So ask your questions, we're here for you. And if you need us at any other point or have questions, definitely send it out to the Twitter world and we can try to help you out along the way. So thank you so much for joining us and enjoy the rest of your day.